Hi, Miss Amaryllis. I hope that this works. This is like my fifth or sixth attempt to do this. Um, I finally just downloaded my own thing and whatever. I'm hoping it works. So here we go. I decided to do my presentation on school security and why I feel that we should maximize it. Okay. So school security, it's an increasing demand. There's so many reasons why school security should be increased. Um, in my opinion, the number one reason is school shooting prevention, and number two is parent and child safety, and number three is to ensure comfortable growth. These are all things that are super, super important. As you can see in the picture, there's the gate that's going around the school, and that's something that has been implemented in most, if not all, schools, elementary schools mostly, just due to the school shooting rate. Um, and these all kind of have a domino effect, so they all go hand in hand with each other. So the more school shootings there are, the more parents are as comfortable with their children going to school, the less safe the child feels, the less growth intake they have, and yeah, all just kind of dominoes off of each other. So school shootings. As sad as it is, school shootings exist and have been increasing. This is one of the main reasons why I feel school security should be increased. Especially working for the city and working at the elementary schools, that was something that day in and day out was always on my mind. It was something that I thought about. It was something that bothered me. I always had this like mindset of like if something were to happen right now, like how would I handle it? How would I keep the kids safe? What actions would I take to be super proactive in it? Just what would I do? And it's so sad because those are thoughts that I wish I never even had to have. And it's really sad that we live in a world and in a society today where those are things that when you're working in the education system, you have to have those thoughts. Just because the rate of it is so high up, it's not even that. It's just the fact one school shooting is too much. And it's sad that it took a pandemic for us to go 1 month and over 2 to 3 years that we didn't have one. It's insane. Um, School should be about safety. It should be about happiness. It should be about learning. And it's sad that we are living in a world where it's not about that. We're living in a world where um, we do have to be extra cautious. We do have to take precautionary measures to ensure that we're being safe. And so I think that having an increased security system is extremely important. Extremely important. Um, Parent-child safety. Parents should feel confident and safe and comfortable when they leave their children at school. They should know that their child will be safe and secure no matter what, day in and day out. Super important, especially having like a 10-year-old brother in fourth grade. I worry about those things all the time. When we're taking him to school, it's like you never think it'll happen to you until it happens to you. And so it's so important that we are um, able to feel like confident. We're able to feel comfortable, and that's how it should be. There should be no question of your child's safety when they're at school. That should be the safest place for them. And on the flip side of that, children should feel safe and secure when they're at school. Having an increased amount of security distributed to all schools will help ease the minds of children throughout the day. When children are going to school, they should feel like they have safety. They should feel safe when they're at home with their parents and then go to school and feel like they're safe with their teachers, they're safe with their security, they're safe with their campus cops, they're safe with their yard duties, whatever it may be. They should have that increased security to ease their minds because children, especially in elementary school, that should be the last of their worries. They should feel the safest when they're at school. I believe that having an increased amount of security would create a successful environment for growth for students. I feel like it would help them learn better, help them grow up to feel more comfortable with their surroundings. They would also be raised with the opinion that the security and the law is helpful and protects them. Knowing that when they go to school, they do have the law enforcement, their campus cop, their security, whatever it may be there, just as an extra boundary of protection. I think that's important for them to recognize as they're growing up. I think that it promotes happy, healthy, positive thoughts, which leads to maximum learning intake. This is all kind of like I think I mentioned in the beginning. It's all a domino effect. So there's an increased amount of security, then their parents are happy, more confident, the students are happy, more confident, and when they're learning, they are more positive thoughts. They're not worried. And usually students aren't, but there is that vast majority of students that do know about the precautionary measures of school shootings. I think it's important that they know, and that they understand. And so having known that this isn't something that students are oblivious to, it's really important for them to feel safe in the environment that they're learning in. That way, like I said, it leads to maximum learning intake for them. So some solutions, I think that security would be at its maximum effect if it was equally distributed nationally. I think if every elementary school has the same security guidelines, it would eventually work hand in hand and prevent most, if not all, horrific events. And this is not limited to just school shootings. I'm talking about anything that happens at a school campus that is anything other than learning. And I know nationally is like a super big word, but if the security effect was distributed nationally, everything would go hand in hand. The elementary school here is security guidelines are equal to the elementary school here. I think that they would all, like I said, another domino effect and work. It would be the most preventative. It's just like the same thing with laws. You can't run a red light in Turlock. You can't run a red light in Merced. It's the same thing. They work hand in hand. When you're in Turlock, you can't run a red light. When you're in Merced, you can't run a red light. And I think it's kind of like the same thing here. Another solution that could possibly help would be the idea of lowering the number of students that attend schools. This was actually an idea that came from one of my sources. This came from the National School Psychologist. There's pros and cons, but they felt like if an elementary school had maybe 300 or 400 kids instead of 800 and 900 kids, it could prevent that. It could be, if something did happen, they could take quicker action to secure all students and to make sure all students are safe. The cons to this is that like you'd have to have more elementary schools, but in a situation like this, I feel like there's no measure that's too big to fix something that should never have been started in the first place, that shouldn't have ever even been a topic, like I keep saying, that is even discussed. Overall, I think security in schools would improve the lives of so many. It would prevent every parent's worst fear and promote child development, like I've said. School should be the place that parents feel the most safe to leave their child at. It should be the place that children love going to. I think that having security, like I said, even just one security officer, a campus cop, even if it's just the slightest amount of security, would create the greatest wavelength of problem solution. I think that having that there is just like a preventative measure to ease the minds, to ensure safety, and to promote overall goodness and wealth of the school. I think that school should be a place where kids love going to. They shouldn't feel nervous leaving their classroom to go to the bathroom, or they shouldn't have to feel like that. It should be a place that is safe all of the time, no matter what. And so I definitely think that school safety is something that nationally we should fix together. It should be an equal distributed amount of security for the maximum effect. And these are just all of my works cited. These are um, all of the articles and all of like the guidelines and the handbooks and everything I got my information from. So yeah, school security should be increased. How do I stop this video?